Welcome to Volunteer Friendly Episode 8. Are you burned out? Hey everybody, this is Will Doggett. I'm super excited to be with you guys. And again, like I mentioned, welcome to Volunteer Friendly, which is a show by From Studio to Stage, all about providing a question, a thought for you to discuss, hopefully provoking some tension so that you can then contemplate it and then discuss it with your team. And if you're a worship leader, production person, anyone involved in making Sunday services happen, then this show is for you. Now, on today's show, today's episode, the question I want to provide to you to discuss is, are you burned out? And I think if you're burned out, you know that you're burned out, but essentially just this feeling of being exhausted, this feeling of just being frustrated, this feeling of feeling like you're doing too much. You can never catch up. You can never get ahead, dreading going into church on Sundays, feeling like there's so many expectations that are so many things that are expected of you, so many expectations thrown at you, and you just can't get ahead. You can't succeed. I think if you've been in ministry for any amount of time, let's say maybe a year or more, and this differs depending on your personality and where you are, you've experienced burnout already. You've gone through Christmas, you've gone through Easter, and you're burnout. You've gone through the summer months where the pastor is away for their 8-week vacation and you're stuck leading worship by yourself and guest speakers are coming in or pre-recorded messages are shown, but you still got to be there every single week. You're burnout. This is something that I think, again, anyone that's been serving in a church as a worship leader, as a production person for any amount of time, we've all experienced. If you haven't experienced it now, it's coming. It's going to be there. In fact, I think that the modern church is a burnout factory, right? We create these highly produced, highly services that are just expected to be completely excellent with tons of media that we create. The songs have to be perfect, original songs, and we got to do it every 7 days, and it's got to be completely unique. And no wonder we're burning people out left and right. All right. So today's episode, I want to just throw a couple questions out to you. I don't think this will be a particularly long one. We try to keep these under 10 minutes, but I think this one may be a little shorter because I just want to hit you with a couple questions, things for you to process. Again, as we always do, we'll end with those 3 processing questions. But I just want to kind of talk through this. There's a possible scenario that the burnout you're experiencing is caused by you. And that could be a couple different ways. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your environment. It doesn't necessarily mean that these expectations are coming down upon you and that's burning you out. It's possible that it's you. And I always think it's the right, humble Christian response to look at us before we look at them. To go, is the thing I'm experiencing, is the thing, the tension I'm feeling, the thing I'm going through, is it caused by me or is it caused by my environment? And I think for a lot of us, we're causing our own burnout. And are you committing to too much? Are you saying yes to things that you shouldn't say yes to? Is it possible this one's going to hurt? This is going to hurt a lot, especially for a lot of you production folks, especially for a lot of you that are worship leaders in smaller environments or worship leaders at smaller environments that have grown to bigger environments. Are you a control freak? Are you having trouble delegating, trouble letting go of things? And so you have to be involved in every single bit of the process. You have to be the person that makes a decision on everything as opposed to delegating and letting other people make Sunday happen. Are you so exhausted and tired after Sunday because you're not letting your team be a team to work together to make something happen and you're trying to be the superstar? It's possible that that's maybe what's happening. Are you failing to rest? Are you taking a Sabbath 1 day a week? Now, even as I say this, I feel kind of that little tap on the shoulder there. And that's something I struggle with. I always have so much to do, working at a church, running a business full time as well, being a husband, being a father. There's always something to do. But a Sabbath basically says, am I willing to lay down my pride? Am I willing to trust God and to say, I have enough security in God and his provision for me to cease working for a day? This is weird when we're in a church environment, right? Because so many of us work on the day of most people's Sabbath, right? So a lot of people, have the weekend off, but Saturday is kind of their day to watch college football, to get, home tasks done. And then Sunday is a day of rest, right? Sunday is their Sabbath. And they're probably still going to watch football, just professional football, NFL football. But they'll go to church, they're going to rest, they're going to Sabbath, and then they get back at it Monday through Friday. But for us church folks, our workday, our main primary workday is the Sabbath for most people, right? Is Sunday. or Sunday or Saturday, depending on the denomination you're a part of. But are you taking a Sabbath? You're working on Sunday. Are you taking Monday off? Are you taking Friday off? Are you taking Saturday off? And you may be listening to this because I've been there, and you go, but Will, I try to take a Sabbath off, but my pastor calls me every Friday and every Saturday. Something I learned a long time ago is if someone calls you and you are frustrated, aren't available to pick up the phone, don't answer. As soon as you answer, you build the expectation that when that person calls, they're going to answer, right? The other thing is, I had a boss one time tell me, he said, hey, listen, if I'm being unreasonable, you just got to tell me I'm being unreasonable. And this is a moment where you may decide, go back to episode 6, where we talk about, is it time to leave your church? This may be a moment where you decide it's time for you to step away. But when leadership puts an expectation on you, they call you on your Sabbath, the pastor suddenly changes his mind and he wants to show this video that you've got to run out and record and create, that you say, listen, this is just unreasonable. Me, my team, we cannot create this and do it well to meet your expectations and also love our families well and rest well. And I feel like personally for me, it's more important for me to serve my family than to create a video bumper for you that you told me about the day before service. One of two things are going to happen there. They're going to say, oh man, I had no idea. Like, that's right. It's more important for you to serve your family and to be a ministry leader to your family than it is to create this bumper video for me. Or they're going to go, don't you understand who I am? I am the pastor, blah, blah, blah. And that is the moment that you go back to, again, episode 6 and go, it's time for me to leave my church. But I don't think that's most of us. I think most of us are bringing this on ourselves. And you know what that is? It's pride. We're too prideful to let other people do things. We're too afraid and insecure of losing our job or something happening to let other people do things. So we say yes to stuff. We commit to way too much. We fail to rest. And so I think it's super important for us to just pause and go, is this burnout caused by my environment or is it caused by me? And I think in most situations it is caused by us. Again, if you find yourself in a situation where your burnout is caused by your environment, and you can only find that out by bringing that question to the surface in a staff meeting and a one-on-one with your pastor, with your leadership, going, listen, man, I'm just not getting time off. Like, I'm not getting time with my family. I don't feel like I can care for my family well. And if their response is ministry is the number one thing and this church is more important than your family, then I think you got your answer. Your burnout is coming from your environment, probably a little bit of you, mainly coming from your environment, and perhaps it's time to leave. Again, go back to episode 6 as we kind of walk through that. So let's wrap up here today with our 3 processing questions. The goal of these is for you to contemplate them on your own and then discuss them with your team. And a great way to do that is to download the PDF version of this. And if you want that, you can head to volunteerfriendly.com, search for episode 8, which is this particular episode, and you can download the PDF with these processing questions, again, for you to contemplate on your own and then to discuss with your team. So let's hit our questions for this week. Number 1, is my burnout caused by me or my environment? And we discussed ways to figure out if it's you or your environment. It's probably going to be a combination of both. I think most of us are going to say it's me, not my environment. But number 1, is my burnout caused by me or my environment? I think this is going to be super helpful for you to process on your own, and then maybe not discuss with your team, but discuss with, not your team of volunteers, but maybe discuss with a fellow staff member, discuss with someone that you can trust, someone that maybe even doesn't work at the church, that can be wise enough and brave enough to go, dude, it's completely you. Or listen, it is not this environment. It is you. You are a prideful person. You're having pride in this. Number 1, is my burnout caused by me or my environment? Number 2, this is a tough one. Again, it's hitting me right now. Am I taking a Sabbath each week? Am I resting? Number 2, am I taking a Sabbath each week? Am I resting? And number 3, finally, what things can I say no to focus on what matters? Number 3, what things can I say no to focus on what matters? Again, if you want a downloadable PDF of these questions to process on your own and then discuss with your team, or discuss with a trusted mentor to help you walk through this and figure it out, then head to volunteerfriendly.com. Volunteerfriendly.com, search for episode 8, and you can find those questions in that downloadable PDF. Thanks so much for joining me for this week's episode. I'll see you next week, next Thursday at 10 a.m. Central, as we continue to feel uncomfortable, to process the tension, and answer these questions we discuss each week. Take care, everyone. See you next Thursday. Bye.